from NDTV Studios on the second floor of the Duncan Student Center. A Notre Dame Student Media and Notre Dame Television production. This is ND Sunrise.
Good morning, Notre Dame. I'm Kiki Carney. Thank you for tuning in to ND Sunrise, your source for all of the latest news on campus. We hope you all had a great week and are looking forward to the weekend. First up, I'm sending it on over to Derek, who took to the streets to ask you guys about everyone's favorite topic this season, Ring by Spring. Derek?
What's up, Notre Dame? I'm Derek Williams. Here we are outside of Duncan Student Center asking the question, Ring by Spring. Hey, we're on the search for true love, and we're going to ask some students to find out what's true love. Look to you. Alrighty, here we are with Hopeless Romantic number 1. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Andrew Vitiglio.
Great. So, Andrew, are you familiar with what Ring by Spring means?
Yes, that's when by senior year spring you find the love of your life and you get married to them.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of looking for that. So, Andrew, how's that Ring by Spring looking like right now for you?
Oh God, so not great, I gotta say. I came into this year in the fall with the body of a football player, and now I have the body of a fantasy football player. So, you know, it's a struggle, right? I just had some Chick-fil-A, and I kind of had this revelation that, you know, why don't I marry Chick-fil-A? Chick-fil-A won't betray me. It won't cheat on me. It won't divorce me, right? So, you know, that might be an option. I know it's not really realistic, so I might as well just tape a coconut to a mop and call it my girlfriend and talk to it in my room when my roommate's not there. So, yeah, that's how it's going for me.
My concept of Ring by Spring is seniors really rushing to try to find a wife or husband before they graduate, and like rushing into marrying them or not rushing into them. They're in true love, so one of those two. Getting engaged before the semester ends.
Okay, and what about you?
Yeah, same idea, trying to find a fiance by the end of the year.
Yeah. Hey, you know, the pressure's on sometimes, especially when the weather's nice, you know, people are out and about, you know, romance is flying. So how's that chance of a Ring by Spring looking like right now for you?
Not sure it's something I'm after.
You know, respect. I understand. What about for you?
So personally for me, I'm still looking for the one, and I think she's out there, but like it's not looking likely by the end of the semester. I might have to reclass, so we'll see. Yeah.
Listen up, ladies. We got the next ND Bachelor right here looking for the chances out there. And for our final question, maybe again for those people looking for some romantic date ideas, some suggestions from your experiences, what would you say, maybe some tips or tricks that you have?
To get the ring by spring?
To get the ring by spring.
I say you got to start early, freshman year.
If you ain't got it by freshman year, it just ain't happening, okay? What else we got?
I feel like if you're looking like by senior year, just give up on it. Like I don't think it's gonna happen unless I don't know, it could end poorly. But take her out by the lakes, take her on a nice walk or something. That's my best advice.
How is Ring by Spring looking like for y'all right now?
Not great.
There we go, an honest take. We appreciate it. And for you?
Yeah, it's not looking. You know, especially as freshmen, we have time, okay.
Very true. You know, you got a big pool of fish, and you don't want to reel one in too quickly, I guess. Now, for all the people, you know, looking for some advice, looking for some romance tips, you know, what do we got? What's that perfect spring date look like?
Okay. Just be polite, go for it. Don't be shy, and you know, just take her on a nice dining hall date, and then maybe a little lake walk afterward or something like that. Yeah. So. Okay.
So what? For guys, now what do you think about for girls? You know, any tips for girls too?
Same thing.
Alrighty, there we go. And let's round out with a few more tips.
Yeah, basically what Elise said. You know, lake walks are great. Maybe hold hands around the lake, and that could be your ring by spring. You know, if you're superstitious, just lock it in right there. Just grab their hand, and that's the way to go.
There you go. Superstition. Hey, it'll get you places, I tell you. Hey, thank you all for jumping on and sharing some tips. We appreciate it.
I'm Luke.
And I'm Mandy.
Great. So do you all know what Ring by Spring is?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us how, you know, you all looking, you know, like a pretty good couple here, I'd have to say. How's that Ring by Spring looking like? Maybe is there a potential?
Probably not this spring, but maybe.
Yeah. Maybe future spring.
Okay, hey, we hear some potential. We can work with that. Maybe for some of those other couples out there, looking for some ways to get some romance going this spring, maybe some cool date ideas, whatever. What's some suggestions that you got?
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's a pretty good one. He just got me Chick-fil-A, so I'd say that's keeping everything going pretty strong right now.
Yeah. And would you say he's a keeper because of the Chick-fil-A?
Oh, definitely.
See, hey, I'm always a big believer. Food is the quickest way to a girl's heart. I don't know. Is there much realism to that?
Yeah, I think so.
Now, we thought here at Indie TV that we should get a perspective of someone who's found some true love. So Raphael here has someone. Are you married, sir?
Yes, I am.
And what's your wife's name?
Eva.
Eva. So what do you admire most about your wife?
What I admire most about Eva is resilience. We've been through some very difficult times, and together we've always come through them.
Good. Hey, that's something that we can really look for in all of our relationships, that resiliency. Now, our students here on campus, they're looking for that ring by spring, looking for their true one. So from your experience finding your true love, what can you do to help? What's some tips, tricks, some suggestions you have for our students out there looking for that true one?
I was just going to say good luck.
There you go.
It's a very difficult journey. And for those who are willing to put in the work of looking for the one true love, I think it pays off handsomely in the end. But I'd like to say it does take a lot of work, not to be afraid to make mistakes as we go along, and to keep looking until that time comes that the one comes.
Yeah. Time and commitment. Hey, we can appreciate it. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you.
Well, we've asked a lot of students, even a married man, what true love looks to them, and it sounds like it's going to be a difficult hunt out there for all of us single men and women, but you know what? I truly believe deep down, each and every single one of us is going to find that true love. Hey, this has been Derek Williams with Notre Dame Television. Back to you at the studio.
Thanks, Derek, for asking the hard questions. Personally, I wouldn't mind a ring by spring. Love is in the air for sure. Next, here's JJ Post with the latest on ND women's basketball.
Thanks, Kiki. Notre Dame women's basketball is a big weekend coming up as the Irish will travel to Bridgeport, Connecticut for the National Sweet 16. Notre Dame will enter the Sweet 16 with plenty of momentum as the Irish just beat Oklahoma in a historic 44-point margin of victory on Monday. The margin of victory was the largest ever by a lower seed over a higher seed in March Madness. Notre Dame will need all of that momentum and more to take on North Carolina State, who's the #1 overall seed in the region, as well as Notre Dame's opponent in the Sweet 16. The Wolfpack have only lost one game against ACC opponents all year, though that was to the Irish at Purcell Pavilion, and haven't lost since that defeat to the Irish. Notre Dame will need a big performance out of freshman point guard Olivia Miles, whose triple-double helped propel the Irish in the round of 64 against UMass. Miles' performance was just the second ever triple-double by a Notre Dame player, and she's only a freshman, meaning she's putting up historic numbers already. Graduate student for Maya Dodson will also need a big performance, as Notre Dame is main contributor on the boards. Expect Notre Dame to be playing their best basketball in the biggest game of the season, and tune in on Saturday afternoon to see Notre Dame look to advance to the Elite Eight to play either UConn or Indiana for a trip to the Final Four. I'm JJ Post. This has been the Shamrock Sports Update.
Thanks, JJ. All right, let's get into some upcoming events. First up, Notre Dame is hosting the NCAA Men and Women's Fencing Championship right here on campus in the northeast corner of the Joyce Center. Notre Dame, St. Mary's, and Holy Cross students receive free admission by presenting their ID upon arrival at Gate 4. For more information, visit the Notre Dame Fighting Irish Athletics website. Next, the Holy Half planning team is in need of day of volunteers to help host the Saturday, April 9th half marathon race. As a volunteer, you would help with distributing water, ensuring runner safety, assisting at the start and the finish line, and more. Plus, you'll get a free t-shirt. Who doesn't want a free t-shirt? Sign up at nd.works.nd.edu. Next, some exercise. Do you need some exercise and recreation in your weekly schedule? All semester fitness classes at Rec Sports are now half off. Or try out intramural indoor volleyball, but sign up now because registration is closing soon. And registration for Pickleball Series 3 and Ballet are now open. To sign up for these opportunities, visit recsports.nd.edu. Finally, PIMCO is presenting Bright Stars, a bluegrass musical by Steve Martin and Eddie Brickell this weekend. Tickets are on sale now at the LaFun box office, $7 for students and $10 for general admission. Be sure to catch the show either tonight or tomorrow night starting at 7 p.m. in Washington Hall. And now, here is Sam, the official political correspondent of Indy Sunrise, with some politics.
Good morning, Notre Dame. I'm bringing you politics this morning out of our nation's capital. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson is the biggest domestic story this week coming out of D.C. She is obviously President Biden's new Supreme Court nominee, replacing the retiring Justice Breyer, who is retiring at the end of this court's term. Justice Breyer has really sung Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's praises. He's called her a fair jurist and someone who is able to take in someone else's point of view and understand it. He really thinks that she will be a good replacement for him. But unfortunately, she has to go through the confirmation battle. Now, she is expected to do well. This is her fourth round of confirmation hearings for various positions and various judgeships that she's held in our nation's government. And so while Republicans and Democrats on the Judiciary Committee are not necessarily making it easy for her, they are asking really tough questions about her sentencing and about how she's voted on cases that have hot-button issues like voting rights and like abortion. Of course, while there are certainly some in D.C. that do not want to see her nomination, the White House really expects a win because the D.C. cannot be gridlocked by this at a time when there's another pressing issue, and that leads us into our next story, Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Russia has continued its invasion of Ukraine. We've seen lots of widespread murder and killings in the war. Civilians and military forces have been killed by Russia. As we've seen here at Notre Dame, we've been supporting the Ukraine effort by lighting up the Word of Life mural in blue and yellow colors on the weekend. And as we do that here, President Biden heads to Europe and tries to get the Western world to really rally together and support and figure out what is the line. President Biden has planned and he will be attending three emergency summits this weekend, the G7, NATO, and the European Council. And each of those three groups really need to decide what is the line for them economically, militarily, and then, on the home front, in Europe, what is the line for them? How far are they going to go in this battle against Russia? President Biden has said that he will defend every inch of NATO's territory, but what does that mean? There are a lot of what ifs in this question. What if Putin uses chemical attacks? What if he uses biological attacks? What if things continue to upscale? And what if he presses beyond Ukraine? There are a lot of questions that at this point cannot be answered unless people start meeting together and people start making decisions, and that's what President Biden wants to do. So President Biden is headed to Brussels. We will bring you the results of that trip next week on Indy Sunrise, and we will be bringing you both of these issues continuing throughout the semester on Indy Sunrise. So be sure to tune into us, be sure to tune into our social media channels, and be sure to tune into your other trusted news sources throughout the week. For Indy Sunrise, I'm Sam Kaufman. That has been our politics for today. Now let's go back to the desk.
Thank you, Sam, for that insightful report. And that's all of today's episode for Indy Sunrise. Thanks for tuning in. Follow us here on our social media and subscribe to our Indy TV YouTube page. We upload all of our episodes online so that you never miss out. If you'd like to get involved with Indy TV, we are always looking for new members. All students who are interested in television production and broadcast journalism can visit our studio here on the second floor of Duncan Student Center or email us at indytv@indy.edu. I'm Kiki Carney, and from all of us here in the studio, we wish you a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. Go Irish!